Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with the fourth video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Morbid and the Lords of Ire. In the third video, we went through the Cinder Valley and fought the quote-unquote boss of the area, or Acolyte, and made it through. Now, I did go back and actually record a bit of me actually doing that boss without taking any damage, if you want to count blocks as not taking damage. But now from here we could come back and talk to Thalis,
Sophia, now prepare yourself
and
head on
go to the next area, and this area is going to be the largest area in the game. Now don't forget to also come back and talk to Professor Maximus to slay your monstrosity and turn in the Cosmian Mastodon. Now we've only got 2 left so far.
Beware! It's a jungle out there.
And now we can move on. So like always, I will be trying my best to show you guys how to go through each area and collect everything that is important. Alright, so once you start off here in Irelia, you will get your first trophy of the area, of course, just for discovering the Fallen City. Coming down here to the tram, you will find a Spectre Slug. Then coming off here, depending on how you're looking at it, to the left or to the right. Over here in the luggage, you will find another thing of distilled darkness. Then coming out here into this main area, it is quite large, but for now we have only one way to go, so I'm just going to show you this first starting area here. So coming off here, you can find a calming capsule, and then over here behind the carriages you can find some bleeding shroom. Now in this open area there's not any new enemies. Over here in this back area, there is one of those screaming mad enemies that likes to cause your insanity to go down. Coming up here into this area is your first new enemy. It'll be a wizard type guy in kind of robes. He'll mainly fire a fire spell at you or try and cause a fire explosion at your feet. Easily dodgeable. In this back corner you'll find a rune and a bleeding shroom. And then I don't think there's anything back over here. So now we can head down and off to the right from the main area. Here in this area is a new enemy. It's a floating skull that will try and headbutt you and then has some projectile attacks. You can use your gun to kind of temporarily stun him out of it. And then over here, as you'll see right here, is a new enemy type that will just emit a wave of damage if you let it. If you quickly target it first and take it out, you don't have to worry about it. Coming up here on the right, you'll find some more bleeding shroom. Up the stairs here, nothing on the right. Then we'll turn and head up these stairs here, and we'll head to the left first. There's another one of those pulsating enemies, as you'll see right here, guarding a rune. Another rune of boosting, which is pretty nice. And then coming down here, just in the back, we'll find another rune, a rapid rune of fatigue. Now coming back, we'll head back across this bridge and then continue forward. As you'll see, this area is the largest area in the game so far. But running through this area here, up here on the left, you'll find a big fat grub. Turning around, don't think that there's anything over here. Oh, nope, there are some poison shrooms. Then if we come down here into this little area, here you'll have 2 of the sorcerer guys and some of the armored, just standard skeleton warriors. But off to the left you'll find an adrenal gland. And then over here we'll continue on into this side area, or not side area, but main area off to the side. Here is probably the worst part of this first area, as you'll have to fight 2 of those giant mutated brain enemies that cause your sanity meter to go down rapidly. You can't lure one out and fight it one-on-one. It is a 2v1 fight. Just try and be as aggressive as you can. Try and hit both of them at the same time. If you need to, use your Spectre gun to deal some damage. But after they're dead, you'll come up here and have your second save area. Now from this second save area, if you just follow the path that I take, there we go. We'll head inside this building here. We'll eventually have a new enemy type. It's a insect humanoid type creature. Don't know why this little area is blocked, but it is. Anyways, moving through the area here, we'll have the new enemy type that will jump down before you get to this part, and then you'll have one that's sitting over here. I'll try and see if I can... No, of course not. I have to show you at the save point. But coming into here, you'll have a shock shroom or lightning shroom on the right. This room will be filled with at least 3 of the new insect type enemies. They are fairly easy to parry and block. Just don't try and get stressed about fighting more than one of them at the same time. But from here, you'll come in here and come down the steps, not once, but take the next set of stairs down into this little basement area down below. Just over here, back in the right, you'll find a calming capsule. And then taking a right in here, on the table is our next Tome of Insight. Just chilling out in the open here. But from this Tome of Insight, if we then head off to the left into this room that is filled with a bunch of eggs. On the left here, you'll find a new weapon, the sickles. Then over here you'll find a putrid limb, and then coming into this room here, as you'll see, you'll find a ladder that will lead down. Now you're going to want to come down here as you'll get a upgrade to your healing item. So first things first, if you turn around, you'll find a rune. And then if you come here through the textured water, in this back corner here you'll find a Cardinor shard. So now you have another upgrade to your healing. Then we can now head back up and progress through the rest of the area. There we go. So you'll just backtrack all the way back to the stairs. And then you can head on up. And then you'll follow this path forward. Coming in here and around. It's not too much to worry about. Do be careful though, there is an ambush immediately on the left. Then from here, if you drop down, you'll find a rune. So now I'm going to skip back up to that window. Alright, so from this window, if you actually turn around, and if you use a Spectre Slug, as you'll see, you can get rid of that little shortcut, or that exploding piece, and that will unlock a shortcut back to this area here. Now from here, we'll just come outside, come back into this little area here, and we'll head down the stairs first, and just off to the right you'll find some distilled darkness and a rune. Now from here we'll head on up and head inside the building here. And just to our left you'll find Putrid Limb, and then we'll find a new NPC, Claire the Blind Voyant.
But since you saved me, in good time we'll meet again. Talk to me once you are done.
She'll basically just be a in-game NPC, so for now that's all she'll be. From here we'll then head outside. We'll drop down. Come back to this little alley over here, and you'll find some more rooms. Now we'll just continue along the main path. Head up the stairs here. You'll basically just swing around. And here on the left is a second Cardinal Shard. So now we've gotten 2 upgrades in this area overall. Then up here you'll find a rune. Now there's 2 ways you can go. I'll show you the forward way first. Here you'll find a Spectre Slug. Here you'll see the big area right here. So on the right you'll find a Distilled Darkness. Now if we head back and head to the right, as you'll eventually see, it does lead back to that area. So if we head down here, just off to the right, up the stairs here, find some more Distilled Darkness. It is a pretty straightforward side area, I will say. On the right here you'll find a Calming Capsule. And then over here in the back you'll find some big fat grub. Heading through this little alleyway here, as you'll see. In the back here you'll find some shrooms. Then if you follow this around, there is an ambush on the left, right here. But then if we continue along and head up the stairs here, we'll be at that same spot. Now this is probably a tough area as it does have a couple of enemies to deal with. 2 of the exploding sacks, as you'll see here and over here. I would recommend taking them out first, then taking out the ranged guy up there. After all the enemies are defeated though, if you come over here you can unlock the first shortcut back down, as you'll see right here. As you'll see, this leads us to that previous area. Now before I come back and explore that area over there, I'm going to show you guys to get the next shortcuts. So coming up the ladder here, and then coming across the bridge, there will be one last final brain enemy, grotesque monstrosity to deal with. But on the left here you'll find your next weapon, the Arch of Ire. Coming inside here, as you'll see, we'll basically be back at the train station that we started at. Coming down here you can find some distilled or some calming capsules. That will basically just get rid of all of that insanity that those enemies cause. If we come down here to the right, we will find another Cosm Stone. Now, for some reason, the trophy related to returning all of these to Bull is glitched, as when I got it after giving him just the second Cosm Stone, even though there's obviously more than just 2 in the game. But coming up here, there's nothing off left that area. But right here you will find the second shortcut that leads back to the first save area. So now I'm going to go back down, go outside, and explore that side area to the left real quickly and show you guys anything of importance. Alright, so here in the main area, just outside the station that is now unlocked, you'll find another one of those brain enemies that causes sanity. And what he is guarding back here, as you'll see, is a Tome of Insight. And that's pretty much all that is over here, surprisingly. But now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to head all the way back to the hall and show you guys what that what the 2 new Tomes of Insight that we got are. So yeah. Alright, so once you've come back to Jan and give him the last 2 Tomes of Insight, as you'll see, you should have all of them now. You'll see that you now have Blessing of the Assassin and Blessing of the Shroomer. Which, the Shroomer one sounds kind of cool, allowing you to stack shroom attacks for basically big bursts of damage. But now we'll head back and move on through Irelia. Once back in Irelia, you'll just continue on the main path. Coming out here, on the right, you'll find a Spectre Slug. Following this path around is the first and probably the only enemy I want to show of this area that is new and probably worth learning, and it's this big guy right here. As you'll see, most of his attacks aren't too bad. It's just whenever he has attacks that he can't parry, as you'll see. As you'll see though, he's not too hard. He can be just a bit tough. But now from here I'm going to show you guys, like before, how to go through this area and get everything of importance. Alright, so a quick note that I want to say is there's actually one more enemy I want to show you guys. So from that last encounter, if you come up here, it's just right up ahead. As you'll see, you'll have this horse guy chilling over here. You can sneak up and not get a critical though. But as you see, if you just stay right in front of him, they go down fairly easily. So now I'm basically just going to be starting from this area here. But before I do, I'll quickly show you this one thing over here just to get it out of the way. So come back here, you'll find a adrenal gland. And now we can move on from here to the rest of Irelia. So from here, if we just continue forward up the stairs here, before continuing, if you drop down over here onto this carriage, or carriages, come down into here, as you'll see there is some runes, some big fat grubs, and over here you will find another rune. Another rune of boosting, that is always nice. Now from here we can head on up. Following the main path that we have, it'll just keep going all the way up. As you'll see right here, even more stairs and more up. We'll eventually get all the way to the top, don't worry. Over here you will find some fire shrooms. And then up here at the top, we've made it more or less to the halfway point of Irelia. I know it's a little crazy to think. But from here we're just going to head to the right again, up to this little hanging area. Here we'll have a small little section. We'll find 2 spores floras, and over here hidden is a new weapon, the Wings of Ire. Now from here we're just going to head back down to here, and then head down again, and then keep to the right, and here you'll find our next save point. And we'll be right outside of the mini-boss of the area. So we'll make a save, and then I will tackle this mini-boss. Now I will state, this mini-boss isn't too bad. He can be a bit annoying with the ads that he spawns, as those can damage you. Like always, I'm going to show you guys my attempt of it without taking any damage. But as you'll see, if you come into here, you can see this definitely looks like a boss room, for sure. Now actually, one quick side note before actually doing the boss is, if you come back to the starting area here and come up like you're going to progress through like normal, if you'll turn around, and in this room here, if you look, you'll see this breakable, which will then have the last toolkit that you can give to a toes, as you'll see. And upon doing so, you will then get another trophy, which I will go and do now.
Is that what I think it is? Quality instruments. With these tools, I can now infuse more powerful upgrades.
As you'll see, we've now given him the best upgrades we can now get, and you'll get the tooled up trophy. This means when you infuse runes into your weapon now, they'll be even better. So that means now we can use all of these boost runes and get even more of a boost. As you'll see.
Any runes worth infusing?
And then if we kept at it, obviously we're not boosting anything, so we don't need to add any more boost runes. Basically, to boost a rune, you'll need to have a current rune, obviously, duh. But now we'll head back and take on that boss. Now, as you guys can see, I had defeated that boss without taking any damage. I did use some mushrooms to make the fight a lot easier on myself, as normally there is some phases and more fire involved, and it can just be a pain. So now from here, if we come down to the bridge, we'll come down here first. Before heading all the way down, you can find a rune. Then over here, we'll head down one more time. A long ways down, as you'll see, But coming all the way down here, you'll have one of those female carcass kings. It's the ones I've been referring to that basically can cause madness. And after defeating it and defeating all the little enemies inside, you will find that it drops the Tumorous Axe's weapon. Then coming down here, we'll find a rune. Now we'll head all the way back up. Now from here, you're basically just... the main path is just going to be across the bridge over here. There are a couple of side things you can find, but for now I'm just going to try and keep this as short as I can. So heading straight forward will be the best path. Up here you can find a rune over here. Then from here we have this giant open area. As you'll see, more enemies to fight and deal with. We come here off to the right and head down. As I'm sure you can see it right in front of us will be another rune. Then we'll head back up. And off here on the right, next to the giant blood fountain, in the back here you'll find a calming capsule. Then over here on the gallows you'll find a rune. Then circling back around over here to this unique looking carriage, you can enter this building here. Nothing inside that you can find, but you'll just end up on the other side. Pretty straightforward path, nothing on the side over there. Coming up the stairs here, just right in front of us, you'll find some big fat grubs. Then over here, all the way around on the left, you'll find a specter slug. And then we can finally head in here and take the elevator up. Now if we come over here to the left, we'll find some bleeding shrooms. Just over here against this door, you'll find the Maul of Ire. And then coming over here and down the stairs, we'll be at the final area of Irelia, the Moonlight Garden. And then we will have our next save area right here. Now heading through this final area here, it's actually probably the shortest area to go through overall. As you'll see, it's just a small garden area with a couple of things. Here you can find some sporous flora. Following the main path around. Don't know how this guy survived. I know how this guy survived, but we don't have to fight them. But coming along through this area here, as you'll see, find a couple of items along the way. Now for anyone wondering, yes, we still haven't found the callback to the previous game item, which we will find in just a minute. But coming on through this area here, as you'll see, it's pretty straightforward. Once you get to this point where you have to go to the left, come down here to the right. Back here will be a Carcass King, and you'll find a calm or adrenal gland. However, if you turn around, you'll see that there's an item here, and this is the Eye of Disgust. That is just a wonderful name. Now from here we can continue on, following through to the normal path. It's pretty straightforward, not too much to find. here on the right, you will find a rune. Heading down here. And heading down here, and here is where you'll open up the shortcut to this area just over here. There is another Carcass King. As you'll see, there's another one of the insanity sacks. You'll find some more runes. And then if you come down here, find some poison shroom. And then actually from here, if we just turn around and come back here, this will lead to the next area. Obviously we can come back here. For another adrenal gland. Running past these crows and coming inside here. You'll see it's pretty straightforward. Woo! That was close. Alright, so now we've made it to the final boss of the area. Not of the game yet. Not quite there. But as you'll see in this room, we'll find some very useful tools that will probably come in handy for the boss. Now, this boss is quite tough, quite aggressive, and can cause your sanity meter to go down fairly quickly if you aren't prepared. Now, I highly recommend having a maxed out stamina blessing. But if you don't have that, like always, I will show you guys how I fight and defeat the boss without taking any damage. Now, I normally will try and do this without shrooms, however, if I can't, obviously I will then use them. But now let's move on to the boss. And just like that, as you guys saw, I had beaten the boss, and we have one less acolyte to worry about. Now, I'm probably going to end this video here, but I'm just going to show off that we're basically right above the next area. As you'll see, we're just going to end up going right to it. There's no teleporting and anything like that. I will head back to the hall first real quickly. Like always, once back at the Hall of Termination,
The Count Rumal Magara. Now you must
talk
slay
to
Queen Ira. The
him,
moon
and then we can
of
come
honor.
down and talk to Maximus to get our reward.
As I suspected, I have another mission for you.
We'll get the Bite and Burn, which is actually a weapon that I really enjoy and find quite fun. As you'll see, it's a dual weapon. It has better impact, better damage, worse agility, which we can upgrade if I'm correct. But for now, we'll stick with our Sword of Yura, as you can see. If we can get a Cosm Stone, then I'll probably end up swapping that over to that. But for now, that is going to be the end of this video. This one was a little bit long, I do apologize for that. But as always, this has been Mr. Pilgrim, and I will see you all in the next video.